welcome to my video about restoring and changing the style of this dresser from an original kind of an American colonial that was done in the 1970s into a mid-century modern look. Here's the finished product, seeing some before and after here. The only identifying marks on the dresser were the stamp on the back, but I do believe it's an Ethan Allen, based on pictures and comparisons I did online. You can see I pulled the drawers and laid the dresser on its front and started with basic repairs, which included sealing up or securing the back much better. It was pretty loose. And then I took the drawers and started to repair those, as several were separating at the joints. They were lovely dovetail joints for the most part, and it's a well-constructed piece out of all maple, and as I say, I think it is an actual Ethan Allen, even though it's not branded or marked with that Ethan Allen brand somewhere. Built in the 70s from what I can tell. Now, one of the first things I did to help or to start convert the style was to pull all of the handles, and of course you need to do that to get sanding. I'm not going to belabor the sanding, although that is, of course, the slowest part of any of these projects. I think you needed to sand off the existing finish and get down to bare wood on the whole dresser. And once the rough sanding was done, I moved to trim off the skirt. The curved detail screamed colonial. A straight line and straight lines on the skirt and the feet were going to be much more consistent with mid-century modern, and that's what I was looking for. The feet still have a little bit of a curve to them, but there was only so much a guy can do. Now, I did not make a video while I was cutting the blanks here for my drawer holes, but I thought I'd go over real quickly what I did. I took a piece of 1x2 maple, which is actually 3/4 of an inch thick, and I left the drawer pulls at 3/4 of an inch thick, but I cut them down to 1 inch in the back, and as you can hopefully see here, there's a beveled edge that's going to be the top of the pull. So the drawer pull is going to look like this on the drawer. I cut a long bevel on the ends at 60 degrees so that it has a nice horizontal line to it. But I'll show you how we're going to make a little undercut in the drawer pull, and then we'll stain them up to match the chest, the dresser. Here are the blanks for the handles, and you can see the marks where the mounting screws are going to go, as well as what I used to guide. For the undercut, you can see I made a jig here, put the handles in upside down, drilled a little hole in 2 spots, and the space between those, took the fine saw, or the vibrating saw, and cut from the bottom and the back to make the undercut. And here you see me cleaning it out with a chisel. Didn't do a perfect job on that, but nobody's ever going to see it unless you lie on your back in front of the dresser and look up under the handles. So more sanding, clean it all up, make sure that it's ready for staining, which is coming up next. Not quite done with the sanding, showing you the bottom of the skirting where I straightened it off. The saw left some marks, so we had to get rid of the burn marks. But then after 220 sandpaper, we started to actually apply the stain. Drawers here, and then of course we took our time and moved on and did the body of the whole dresser until it was really pretty. Now, I did not take video of me putting on the poly coat. I used a polyurethane for the finish coat, or coats. This is me sanding between coats on the polyurethane, taking the drawers and getting the edges sanded out by hand. Used 320 sandpaper for between coats. And here's the handles between coats as well. Now, I did this in summer so we could just set everything outside. And it's time now to mount the new handles on the drawers. And that was a simple matter of screwing them in from the back, but of course getting the adjustment right before tightening the screws down, and then putting on the final coat of poly so that the handles connected well with the drawers. And this is the final product here in the garage. It looks great, nice and shiny. And then we got it into the cabin where it is going to live in among other mid-century modern stuff.